Who is the most important person in a play or a movie? Many would say the lead actors. But the director, at least in the case of the book of Esther, is the main person. The theme of Esther is God works behind the scene. The S-E-E-N and the S-C-E-N-E. You see, God's name is mentioned nowhere in the book, but his providence is everywhere. He is the proverbial elephant in the room. If we think of it like a movie or like a play, the book of Judges has three major scenes. The first is getting to the triumph of Esther as queen. The middle section is the triumph of Israel's enemy, Haman, and then his fall. And then the third part is the triumph of Mordecai and the Jews, with Mordecai being Esther's guardian and relative. That's one way to look at the book. The other way is to think of it like an hourglass, where each piece of the glass is balanced. The central part of it, the tipping point, was when Esther, with her life on the line, went before the king to see if he would, in fact, allow for the Jews to be spared. But that's sort of getting ahead of the point. What happened first is that Esther became queen. Mordecai, her relative, thwarted a plot against the king, and then this guy Haman comes on the scenes, and he despises Mordecai. He's high up in the royal courts because Mordecai, being a Jew, would not honor him the way that Haman wanted to be honored. Then we find out that Haman gets jealous. He casts lots to try to find a good day to destroy the Jews. Mordecai finds out, tells the Jews. Esther, in her greatest moment, has everyone fasting to see if she can go before the king and not die because she hadn't been requested, and try to save the Israelites. So God used that moment to begin the process of his redemption and salvation and deliverance of the Jews there. Because that very night, the king would not sleep. He found out through somebody reading the boring chronicles of the history that not Haman, but Mordecai had thwarted a plot against him and his life. The next day, the king has Haman parade Mordecai to Haman's shame, unbeknownst to the king that he had done anything against Mordecai. And then that day, the plot Esther reveals to the king that Haman had sought their life to destroy the king, to destroy the Israelites. And so the king decides to assassinate or kill Haman instead of Haman assassinating Mordecai. Mordecai gets exalted. There's feasting, celebration. The Israelites have victory, and it shows that God cares for his people, provides for them. When it looks bad, he can reverse everything and triumph.